Oklahoma. Huddle up. It's time to go inside the high school huddle on Hot 93.7 FM. The high school huddle will take you where you want to go with coaches, players, your phone calls, texts, and tweets. Join the huddle and let's talk high school sports.
It is the high school huddle here on a Wednesday night, chilly Wednesday night, alongside Jordan Leach back in our Stillwater studio. Phil Nichols, Chris Evans with you. We're taking you up to the top of the hour talking high school sports. A lot to talk about here. And, boy, Phil, we went from 90 to 52 degrees in a snap of a finger. We can't even – now, I think the temperature's going to warm back up to the 80s, but I need some time in the 80s and 70s before we dip down into what they call football weather.
I was sweaty pants are back.
Yeah, you got sweaty pants on
Sweaty
today.
pants are back today.
Yep.
Sitting on the patio last night at about 5:15, 5:20.
The front hit at 4:58 in downtown Guthrie.
Okay, so that's my timing's about right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm estimating.
Yeah.
Sitting up by the patio, by the pool. You've been there.
Yeah.
Chilling. Got my laptop out. Replying to a few emails. Having a cold bottle of water. And it was kind of warm. Mm-hmm. And I got on a phone call. Somebody called. And about 3 minutes into the phone call, I said, what in the – because you could literally feel it blow in.
Yeah. Snap of a finger. And
it dropped a bunch. And so I said, hey, hold on. I got to walk. I went in the house and got a light jacket and went back out on the patio.
Yeah.
So, and then last evening, little baby Michael Pruitt is back in town on leave. So we were out having some fun last night, Mike and I were. And so we were driving home around midnight last night. And we walk outside to get in the truck.
You say around midnight?
Around midnight.
What were you doing up at midnight?
My son.
Did you go to bed at 8:30 like you do and wake up? Or
No.
You stayed all the way through?
Full day yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, full day. But
big day.
Big day. But I mean, it was cold last night about midnight. I mean, it was legitimately cold.
Yeah.
It wasn't just chilly. It was cold. So rough day.
Absolutely. This is the high school huddle. Of course, we're brought to you by our good friends at Generations Church, 2524 West Noble Avenue in just outside of downtown Guthrie, but a big part of the community. Big thanks to Josh and the crew out there, and a new sponsor this year, as well as on our Friday night broadcast. We broadcast Guthrie High School football, and just glad to have Josh and the crew over there, and we'll be sharing some stuff about their church throughout the night as well as throughout the season. But before we get to the big news, I think the big news today in high school sports, I had to take my golden one to the vet today.
Okay, just so everybody knows, there are 5 things in Chris Evans's life that he loves. Okay,
5 things. Wow.
Whose story?
Okay,
it's my story. I get to tell it.
5.
There's 5 things that Chris Evans genuinely loves. Now, there's other people, but these are the 5 things that I think are most important to him, and this is in a very specific order. Okay.
Very specific order.
You know what? I'm going to go to number 1. Number 1 thing Chris Evans loves the most is Max, his dog.
Maximus Einstein Evans.
That's right. Loves his dog.
I mean, I won't bore you with all the details, but I had
He's a genius.
I had my 16-year-old's kidney ready to go, and I had my 11-year-old's liver, if needed, on standby for little Max to fight through. So.
What was it? Did he eat something he shouldn't have?
Well, we don't know. I think he just has has elevated temperature. We thought maybe he had eaten something, and it's
going into quarantine.
It's still not completely ruled out of what was wrong with him, but he got a shot and he squealed like a girl.
Oh boy!
And now he
is your dog,
and so he's got some medicine.
Now,
as
just
well.
So everybody knows, because I'm very conscious of these things. Chris said something he shouldn't have said there. He didn't. Young ladies are very tough. To say squealed like a girl, you could have said squealed like a lot of things, but squealed like a pig.
He thinks he's tough,
just like you until a needle shows up.
Yeah, he did not like that one
Maximilian.
But anyway, well, Phil, I think the big news is here. I think in high school sports today is the OSSAA held their monthly meeting today, and with a unanimous vote, the OSSAA approved a 3-year deal with the University of Central Oklahoma to host all the 11-man state championships from Class 6A all the way down to Class A football.
Yes.
And so for the next 3 years, we will have the state championships outside of Class B and C. Those sites to be determined later because we want to. LSA wants to see where everyone's at and proximity and all that good stuff. But I think that we saw it last year firsthand. We got to do all the broadcast production and a lot of the play-by-play. But outside of that, for selfish reasons, we like it. But for football and for Oklahoma, one central location is just a great idea. And we'll kind of get into the details in a little bit, but just getting your initial thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, my initial thoughts is that UCO did a phenomenal job last year, and Van Shea Ivan with the OSSA, who kind of just made sure everything happened, did a tremendous job. The whole staff did with the OSSA, but UCO we've been to a lot of places covering a lot of playoff games, a lot of state championship games, a lot of semifinal games, just a lot of games.
Yeah.
And when you look at everything that brings to the table, geography, facilities, it's not so big that you feel lost in the stadium. So it's got a great atmosphere. It's huge. We saw a couple kids get offered scholarships right after the state championship games that these coaches at UCO didn't even know about.
Nope.
And some of these small ball kids that got
the Metro Christian quarterback
that got offered scholarships on the field. I mean, so it was just a neat thing. So the biggest takeaway, besides the obvious selfish reasons, we get to set up once and it's 15 minutes away, which is kind of nice for us. But it's just the first class job UCO and the OSSA did last year, and I know we'll continue to do. So it's great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. The OSSA sought bids from in April. They sent out bids to UCO, OU, OSU, Tulsa, and Tulsa Union. Tulsa Union is building just as you can imagine, stadium. I think I remember seeing $31 million, I believe is what it is at Tulsa Union, and they weren't quite sure if it would be completely ready. So the actual bids that came back was from OU and UCO.
Yeah.
And David Jackson in the Zoom meeting this morning is actually watching that. And he said UCO by far came back with the best deal, not only financially but just the overall game day services that they provide with concession stands. So last year, the Oklahoman did a open records or requested something. Last year, the Oklahoma reported that UCO paid $7,500 per game, and so the UCO kept the merchandise sales and ticket sales, and then UCO ran the concessions and all that good stuff and kept the money there. So it sounds like it was a win for UCO. It was definitely a win for Oklahoma high school football. It appears to be a win for the OSSAA. So if UCO won in the deal, not only financially but exposure. I mean, they turn on the baseball lights, they turn off the softball lights.
They do a nice job.
Turn it. They put their campus on display, and
it's a commercial.
It's a display that's worth showing off as well.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think a lot of people, at least I'll say this, I didn't realize, because if you don't have a reason to go to UCO, so if you're not a student there, if you're not a parent of a student there, if you don't take something,
right,
you don't realize all the improvements have been done over the years to all the entire campus. I mean, it's really impressive, and we're very lucky that we have that partnership with UCO to bring those games to everybody, because it makes it easy. It makes it the system, the technology, the facility itself is first class, and again, the size of the stadium fits the crowd.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so the atmosphere is there.
Yeah, we broadcast it, and we've seen games inside OU, OSU. Yep. I've never been to a game inside Chapman Stadium.
Right.
I watched plenty of them on TV. And Jinx Union, who played this week in the Backyard Brawl, they fill it up most of the time. There's sometimes they can't fill it up, but just when you have and it's really bad at OU, you got a 90,000 seat stadium, and you have. Even if you have 10,000 people show up,
I felt like
it doesn't.
The years we were there, both as fans and then also working, covering different games, you're in a state championship game for a 5A school, and you feel like you did something wrong. You feel like nobody knows we're here right now. We're going to get caught any second, because it feels like there's 12 people there.
I don't know that feeling. You know that feeling?
Well, something? I mean, I've been told.
Oh, been told. Okay.
If you do something wrong, that's what it feels like. But But no, it just doesn't fit. And it was nice that they submitted a bid because, I mean, that is good. But at the end of the day, boy, UCO just works.
Absolutely. So, that's that was the news out of the OSSA meeting today. OSSA also cutting back on some reimbursements from the school because I think they lost. I wanted to say I heard like $1.1 million from not having basketball state tournament, and they didn't even have spring sports as well. Yep. So they're having to find some ways to cut costs, as many athletic departments are. Especially in the college ranks. Oklahoma State's going to be cutting back. We saw Utah is furloughing, including their athletic director and the coaches with all this COVID stuff. So it is.
I think the OSU announcement today really, at least here locally, obviously will get everybody's attention to how bad this is. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got families over there. Some of them are experiencing. They said, I believe it was anywhere from a 2 to 25% cuts in salaries. The larger cuts were coming from the head of departments or the people with the larger salaries. But still, so many. I mean, you need every dollar, in today's world, and it's tough when you're still going in and doing the same job, and all of a sudden your check shows a lesser amount in it. That's a lot to ask of somebody. It's a decision that I'm sure had to be made, obviously. Mm-hmm. I think I read in the article they were talking about a $30 million shortfall is what they're estimating in the athletic programs. But it's going to be interesting. Now, I was with a group of guys this morning, had a conversation, and these are all sports guys. These are all guys that love sports. And we were talking about just kind of everything going on and just in the world, and how much I don't think some of the professional teams, and it looks like some of the college teams, I don't think they realize that they don't have quite the captive audience they once had. And there's a lot of people that have figured out that, you love sports and you wish you could watch it, but, life goes on.
You're able to fill that time in.
With probably stuff that's more productive. Spend time with your family, spend time doing stuff. But there's no doubt that it's a different world than we lived in, pre-COVID-19.
Absolutely, and COVID-19 is still playing a mark on a lot of schools. I was before getting onto the feed here, I have a friend who operates radio stations down in the Texas area, and I think they had 3 teams they follow on their station, and 2 of them I think got canceled with COVID, one because of weather. So it sounds like there's a lot more cancellations going on in other places, Oklahoma, and there's some cancellations and postponements. We'll get to those here in the next segment as well, some scores and some. We'll spotlight some players as well. But when we get the news out of here real quick.
And real quick, too, the very sad report of a longtime Mustang public school staff member passed today, and there were COVID was involved in some way. In today's world, we never know fully what that really means.
Right. My feeling on that real quick is there's a lot of them have underlying health conditions.
Right.
I think the COVID enhances that, makes things go a little bit faster than it normally would. So that's the scary thing about. If you're 65 and have underlying issues, everyone needs to take it serious. But if you really fit the criteria there, that's something you really have to. Luckily I don't have that. I don't think I do. It's fourth quarter, 2-minute warning, buddy.
Fourth quarter. I entered the fourth quarter of my last birthday, Chris informed me. I got a lot to get in. Short period of time.
Well, we've
already made it longer than we thought. Remember we had this talk a few years ago?
Right.
I thought 54, 55. It was a wrap.
We better get a commercial in real quick so we make sure we get through that.
Get that done.
At least get the commercial spots in there. So, all right, we're going to take our opening timeout. We're going to take a look at some of the scores from last week. There was some surprises, not some surprises. We'll look forward to some games this week, and we'll take a look at some individual numbers from individuals as well, as some great athletes had some great games as well. And we might have time to go over all the state championship dates, volleyball, cross country, and just kind of run them down for you as well as we take our opening timeout here on the High School Huddle. Once again, we are brought to you by our good friends at Generations Church. Timeout. This is the High School Huddle on Hot 93.7 FM, KSBI.
At Generations Church, we exist to love God, love people, and serve both well. We're a multi-generational, multicultural church that believes in being a light to our city and our region. At Generations, we don't believe that church can be put in a box. We're a church that accepts all people from all walks of life, young, old, rich, and poor, and you will feel welcome at Generations. Join us at 10 a.m. every Sunday at 2524 West Noble in Guthrie, America. You can also join us at Generations generationsguthrie.online.church.
Today I'm sharing Golden Chick with the world.
Are you ready to taste Golden Chick for the first time?
100% tenderloin, that's where the golden tenders come from, marinated for 24 hours.
It is amazing.
Then we also got the rolls, made fresh.
It feels like they were just baked.
You know why it feels that way? They were.
Every time I go, I like to get extra rolls, so I love it.
We are being kind of photobombed right now by the one and only Clucky. Have you met Clucky the chicken? Don't get too starstruck. He's just a regular guy. One taste, and you're golden. He's on Tender. That's like a chicken dating app.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy. Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
Exxon was founded by two combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exxon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exxon.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Lewis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Lewis Turney a call at 282-7600.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma Streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Welcome back to the High School Huddle. Join the huddle yourself and let us know your thoughts by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-897-3678 or simply tweet us by using the hashtag OKHSHuddle. Now let's get back in the huddle and talk high school sports.
Alongside Jordan Leach, well, not alongside, she's in Stillwater, Miss Mustang Bronco. Phil Nichols, Homecoming. Phil Nichols, Chris Evans with you here as we broadcast in Guthrie. And, Phil, there was some exciting games. The non-district games are so exciting just because of the matchups, you know, and then you get into the district matchups, but the non-district games are so exciting. And Bixby and Jinx had a good one. We've already given Bixby and Carl Albert the state championships. Everyone else is up for grabs.
Well, it's going to happen.
Yeah. But Bixby actually had a rally to beat Jinx, 42-35. And, of course, Mason Williams and Presley Kidd took over. And, they were good. So Mason Williams, the quarterback for Bixby, 240 yards, 5 touchdowns. And the junior running back, Braylon Presley, who was offered by Kansas, he ain't going there.
Whoa. We got a lot of Kansas listeners right now.
Well,
you want to adjust that?
Yeah, basketball season will be here soon. He had 244 total yards. And Les Miles, he might be able to turn around to get, 3-4 wins?
Oh, no, he'll get more than that. And he'll cheat enough to get more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, talk to my buddies that are KU fans. They say, we're going to win. Then he's going to have to leave, and, we'll have to serve a little probationary period. But we'll win.
Yeah.
So, no, I think Les, joking aside, I don't really think that's a joke. But he can recruit. I mean, he can go get players. He's proven that everywhere he's been, right? So he'll definitely bring in more talent there. But If you don't offer, you can't get. So who knows?
Absolutely, yeah.
Who knows?
Broken Arrow beat Union 14-7. Union's now 0-2 on the season. And how about the Enid Plainsmen 2-0?
Come on now.
They beat Ponca City 19-17.
Yeah.
Rashawn Woods and
Good
his.
year.
Oh no, wasn't that the beginning of the Spanish flu? 1917, 1918.
I don't know about that stuff. I'm just.
Well, okay.
You want to know why I said it's a good year?
1917. No, why was that?
My grandfather was born in 1917.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's awesome. Absolutely. But Ponca with the big win over Medill.
Yeah.
Because Pump City canceled their game with them. But Enid beats Ponca in 1917. Rashawn Woods and the Plainsmen
2-0.
Yeah.
Last year, I believe, did they win a game last year?
One maybe.
I think one if they beat. They lost to Ponca last year.
Yeah, they lost to Ponca. Were they 0-10?
I think they were 0-10.
I'll have to look that. I can look that.
1-9 or 0-10.
I can look it up as you educate us.
But that's good though. I mean, he seems like a good guy. He's trying to do the right things up there. He's trying to get Enid back on track and so we've played those guys a lot in non-district games over the last 10 years and. It's always a good game.
0-10.
0-10, yeah.
Yeah, 1-9 the year before.
Okay, so yeah. So they've won more games this year than they won in the previous 2 years.
Yep.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Good for those kids.
Absolutely.
And the coaching staff. That's great.
And then another good game was Dell City and Booker T. Washington. Dell City is going to be our number one game of the week. Dell City and the Carl Albert Titans play this week. But Dell City and Booker T. It was like a 15-13 game there. And another game as we dip down to 5A football was Piedmont really took it to El Reno. There's a little bit of an asterisk there as Doran Plumley, the star quarterback for El Reno, did not play with a foot injury as Piedmont takes it to El Reno. It was like 31-7, and El Reno's only points came on a fumble recovery for a score there. But Piedmont's going with a couple quarterbacks this year. With that, of course, they run that flex bone offense, and Piedmont's got an interesting game this week as well. I'm trying to remember. I'll have it here in a second who they play, but Piedmont. I know. Pump City North. That'll be a good game there. But Piedmont.
They graduated a lot of kids last year.
Got a lot coming back. But the numbers are there.
The numbers are big enough. They're always going to have athletes coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you made that point last week. But off that team last year that was able to upset Carl Albert and give them their only loss in 43 years. That was a heavy senior-led club. I mean, there was a ton of seniors on that ball club. But yeah, they're going to have athletes. They're going to have, and they're well coached. The staff over there is doing a really good job. So that's going to be a tough ball game, no matter who trots out on the field with them.
Yeah, Piedmont wide receiver Caden Hindran. I think he might play a little quarterback. I think he's one of the two. But anyway, Hindran caught the teams. He completed the 2 touchdown passes and scored both times as well. He and Coach Jeff Hall, who watches the show from time to time, says Caden is the best football player I've ever coached.
Wow!
And so that's saying something from the Piedmont coach, who
it's a lot of athletes.
I mean, he's coached on the 6A level, and so. But the Guthrie Blue Jays, we'll see them here in Week 4 of the football season. But Piedmont. Top 5 ranking, deservedly so.
Rightfully so. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, they've done a great job establishing a program over in Piedmont. They've got good support in their community. I mean, you can check every box as it pertains to Piedmont right now, and they definitely are on an upward, trajectory as far as their football program. Really, all of their athletic programs. I mean, again, the numbers have a lot to do with that, but that's not to take anything away from the kids or the coaching staffs that are working with these kids every day. So. Yeah, Piedmont's definitely one that's, like I said, they're not years ago. That was kind of one that a lot of people could say, okay, that's a win. Okay, that's a win. Right. It's not like that anymore. I mean, it's changed. It's definitely changed.
Yeah, Piedmont running back Wesley Morrison finished with 24 carries for 96 yards. And the thing with Piedmont with that flex bone, handoff, you do it 50 times, and they're going to pop one, a pass, and you got to be ready at all times for that. But before I give you the same trivia question I do in every single season, week 1 of the season, we'll see if you get the answer right this year. I don't know if you got it again. And
I never remember what you asked me.
Right,
so.
exactly. Right. It works, but Before I get to the trivia question, Guthrie goes on the road to PC West. First meeting between the two schools. And for the second game in a row, Guthrie gets down early in the first quarter, only comes back and kind of gets things going as they beat PC West 43-20. And some of the ranking services now has Guthrie in the top 10 with a 2-0 start, victory over Shawnee and PC West. Shawnee and PC West, both programs that are rebuilding.
Yeah.
But when Guthrie goes 4-6 a year ago, don't make the playoffs for the first time since 2004.
Yeah.
They will take that 2-0, and Guthrie will be at home this week against the Duncan Demons.
Yeah, and that's a ball game. I think everybody's still trying to figure out who a lot of these clubs really are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of clubs just played one. Some teams haven't played any yet for
Edmond
different
North,
reasons.
Perkins
with COVID.
hasn't played.
Right. So there's all these. It's a weird. Well, it's weird everywhere right now with everything. But I think Duncan Guthrie traditionally is one of those ball games that's usually really competitive. It's usually a real physical ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams are obviously always well coached, so should be a heck of a ball game. It's not. It's homecoming for Guthrie, so it's a little. Duncan's not a typical team you would see scheduled for homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that's a game that I think the Blue Jay fans are going to sit around and feel like we should probably win, based on how the season started so far this year for the Jays. But
Duncan coming off a multi-score loss to Lawton High School.
Right. So I mean, you would think that's a game that can win, but it's Duncan Guthrie, so anything can happen.
Absolutely. All right, Phil. What is the longest streak of two schools playing each other? I'll give you a clue.
You do ask me that every year.
They just played the 99th straight year last week.
What class?
It's a mix of a couple classes.
Okay, what's the mix?
I think one's Class A. The other might be.
Who am I kidding? I don't know this.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say Cash and Perry.
Cash and Perry. I don't know if Cash and Perry have ever played each other.
They played last week.
Cash and Perry did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cash and won.
Well, I knew Cash.
I was thinking a guy that does hours of homework would know that, but go ahead with your story.
It's Cleveland and Hominy.
Cleveland. You know what? I'll remember that next year.
No, you won't. You always say that every time.
No, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
Cleveland and what's the other one?
Hominy.
Hominy.
Yeah.
That that stuff that looks like corn, but it's not corn?
Right. Oh, the little yellow things.
And you feel betrayed when you bite into it?
Right.
That's how I'll remember it.
Yeah. If you're counting at home.
Baker Mayfield, overrated quarterback, plays for Cleveland. Hominy, looks like corn, betrays your taste buds.
You'll forget by the end of the show.
Already did.
Cleveland captured the victory 34-6. So,
okay.
Another game that was interesting to follow was Weatherford and Kingfisher. Kingfisher actually jumped out to a pretty big lead. I remember being on the broadcast Friday night, and Kingfisher was winning big. I was like, oh, wow, Kingfisher, that's a good win. About to go 2-0 after beating Alva the week before. Yeah, Ethan Downs and the Eagles outscored Kingfisher 28-0 in the third quarter. Ethan Downs had a touchdown in that game. We saw Weatherford in last year's state championship game.
He's all man.
And he's committed to the University of Oklahoma. Yep. But Weatherford comes back and takes down Kingfisher. See, those are good games. Weatherford, Kingfisher. Those are awesome.
Yeah, I'm telling you, last year when we called all those what I call small ball, and then getting obviously into the 3A, 4A, that is such a high level of football. Yeah, when we went and covered, was it the semis or the quarters in Texas a couple years ago?
That was the semis.
So we went down and covered the semis, and I went down there.
Gunther and
what was it?
Gunther and Canadian. Yes.
And I had this built up expectation of Texas high school football, and what I walked away from, good clubs.
Yeah.
But they were no. Our schools that were same size could beat those guys. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah.
So what I realize is it's Texas large ball.
Yes.
Is where there's the big difference. Not necessarily the smaller town stuff, but it's great games with all of these smaller schools, high caliber football all the way around, and just a lot of fun to watch.
McLeod gets their first win since 2018. They take down U.S. Grant, so congratulations to McLeod. And I don't want to forget our good friends in Stillwater, the second-ranked 6A2 program. The Stillwater Pioneers get a big defensive stop, an interception, I believe it was, as they take down Edmond Santa Fe 45-32. That's a good non-district win there. Edmond Santa Fe believed by many to be maybe the strongest team on the West for 6-8-1 this year. We'll see how that goes, but a good win for the Pioneers to get that. So
yeah, I mean, with all the graduations and all the changes, do we know who started at quarterback for them?
You know,
we talked a little bit about that. I don't know if we've got another.
No, I got a Quantrell Walker update for you. I do have that. Let's see, 29. Oh, kind of a down. He only had 29 carries.
Yeah, only 5 touchdowns.
243 yards.
Yeah.
Must not been feeling well.
No, probably just it's early.
Yeah, it's early. Yeah, it's starting to get his legs.
We saw this guy twice last year live. You and I did.
Yes.
Saw him in the semis and the finals.
Well,
wasn't it?
We went to Stillwater his
That's
freshman
right.
year
We saw him
against Mustang,
and he was all man as a freshman.
Yes, he was.
But last year as a junior, guys, he's different. I mean, and I'm a little surprised there's not more schools that have shown a lot of interest in him, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if maybe it's his top end speed. I don't know, but at the high school level, he's different. He can make people miss. He can do things that most kids can't.
Right.
I mean, he's a special kind of football player. Wherever he ends up going, he's going to be a good football player for people.
One other game I want to get in here real quick, and then we're going to look forward to some games this week. We'll have our top 10 games of the week to break down here in a little bit. But Carl Albert and Midwest City, always an entertaining game there. And during the broadcast, Midwest City, I can't remember, was leading something. Yeah. Was leading by, I can't remember what the score was.
At halftime.
Was it halftime?
It was at halftime.
Yeah. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't worried.
Midwest City hadn't beat Carl Albert since 2016.
Yeah, add another year to that.
And we'll go ahead and add another year to that as Carl Albert takes down the Midwest City Bombers.
Yeah.
What was the score there? I'm trying to
30-something to 28. 35-28 maybe?
5A score. Let me go there real quick.
35 or 36.
I didn't have time to write down my notes, so
I think it's 35 or 36-28.
41-26.
41-26.
41-26.
Oh, so they pulled away a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, Ben Harris had a pretty good game, and Javian Hunt had a pretty good game, but it was Bazell.
There's been a Bazell on that team since my grandpa was born.
1917.
I mean,
yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a good run there.
Isn't that a name we always hear there?
Yeah.
I mean,
Cantrell Bazell.
It's a great name.
But Bazell. Let's see here. I'm trying to look for some individual numbers here. I'm not finding them real quick, so we won't go over there. But so those were some of the games of interest. But real quick, before we go to break, we're going to break down some games here coming up in a little bit. You know what? El Reno.
Yes.
You know, I see some of the rankings.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
If you stop Plumlee, or if he doesn't play,
you win.
You win. Yeah.
You do.
I have a hard time, and of course it'll play itself out. It's the good thing about high school football; it'll play itself out. But we saw him last year in the first round against Piedmont last year.
It's all about him.
It's all about him.
It is. It's all about him, and
it's all about him is usually enough to win.
Right. I mean, he's a special athlete. I mean, it's but it is all about him. I mean, they're going to go 100% wherever he takes them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, real quick, I want to go over some dates. Of high school, some dates so you can mark down here. Some championship dates. Fall baseball state tournaments will be at DeLisi Park, and the championships will be at the Bricktown Ballpark this year. That is October 8th, 9th, and 10th. That is also the same dates, 8th, 9th, and 10th, as the fast pitch softball state tournaments. Those are the finals are happening at Hall of Fame Stadium this year. Also on the 9th and 10th is the state volleyball tournaments for Class 3A, 4A. October 15th, 16th, 17th is the large school softball state tournaments. All of those are going to be played at Hall of Fame Stadium. October 19th and 20th is your volleyball state championships for 5A and 6A. The finals this year will be at Choctaw. This is an even year, so all the championships will be on the west side. Odd years have on the east side. October 31st is your cross-country state meet, and that's for all the schools. Of course, that's at Edmond Santa Fe again this year. Football playoffs begin on the 13th. Game Day State, I think that's cheerleading. Game Day State, I think that's cheerleading.
I'm not, yeah.
anyway, that's
I was
November
a flyer
14th.
myself back in the day.
And then you got state semifinals last 2 weekends of November. Of course, state championship games the first 2 weekends in December. All
From
those
your
games,
lips to God's ears.
all those games are hopefully. All these events will hopefully take place.
Chris and I had a little moment of heartbreak last year. We're all set up. We spent a couple hours getting set up, ready to roll at the big house. For the state basketball tournament. We get done. Literally, Chris hits it. He goes, "Yep, we're ready to go." And I mean, literally, the guy on the end goes, "Wrap it up. We're canceled."
Yeah.
Chris and I looked at each other, and we really didn't know, because that was literally the day that
March 12th.
that the Thunder player, the Utah Jazz player tested positive, and everything broke.
Donovan Mitchell.
Because you and I were on a phone call, and I'm, of course, because I'm very good at knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm in the car with Chris, and he's having to hit mute on his phone call because I'm so upset going, "This is crazy. What are they canceling things? This is dumb.
Yeah.
This is stupid."
I think one of the radio lines said, we're getting ready to come to a gridlock, and I
threw my hands in the air. Gridlock.
You just went crazy. These people overreacting.
Yeah, well,
gridlock 2 days later.
Well, and this goes right in the category with that guy that plays at OU that I thought was a bust.
Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, he turned out to be pretty good.
All right, we need to take our next break. Of course, the High School Huddle all season long brought to you by Generations Church. Check them out online. Check them out on social media as well. Time out. This is the High School Huddle on Hot 93.7 FM. Once again, presented by Generations Church.
Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
Exxon was founded by 2 combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exxon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exxon.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Louis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Louis Turney a call at 282-7600.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Today I'm sharing Golden Chick with the world. Are you ready to taste Golden Chick for the first time? 100% tenderloin. That's where the golden tenders come from. Marinated for 24 hours.
It is amazing.
And we also got the rolls, made fresh.
It feels like they were just baked.
You know why it feels that way? They were.
Every time I go, I like to get extra rolls, so I love it.
We are being kind of photobombed right now by the one and only Clucky. Have you met Clucky the chicken? Don't get too starstruck. He's just a regular guy. One taste, and you're golden. He's on Tender. That's like a chicken dating app.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy.
At Generations Church, we exist to love God, love people, and serve both well. We're a multi-generational, multicultural church that believes in being a light to our city and our region. At Generations, we don't believe that church can be put in a box. We're a church that accepts all people from all walks of life, young, old, rich, and poor, and you will feel welcome at Generations. Join us at 10 a.m. every Sunday at 2524 West Noble in Guthrie, America. You can also join us at generationsguthrie.online.church.
Welcome back to the High School Huddle. Join the huddle yourself and let us know your thoughts by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-897-3678 or simply tweet us by using the hashtag OKHSHuddle. Now let's get back in the huddle and talk high school sports.
Jordan Leach back in our Stillwater studio, keeping us afloat on Hot 93.7 FM KSBI. Also broadcasting, live streaming this on Facebook, GuthrieNewsPage.com. Facebook.com/Guthrie News Page, and then we will upload this to YouTube and make a podcast out of it and all that good stuff. He's Phil Nichols. I'm Chris Evans, and I'm gonna go over some individual numbers. But I just now, this is new. This came in sometime today. I have not seen this. But it just came in. But before I get to that real quick, we were talking about Cleveland and Hominy playing for the 99th straight year.
Right.
Well, there's another rival that will not play. I think it's going to be canceled, right? Canceled. Yeah, canceled. Ooh. They had played 75 straight years, and it's not going to happen this year between Broken Bow and Idabel. The Little River War dates back to 1944.
Because of COVID?
I think it is, yeah. Wow. It has to be because of COVID. So you look, 75 straight years and they're not playing this year because of that.
I'll cut down on the stabbings that week. I think that there's I'm joking.
I know.
I mean, sense of humor, it's good to have one.
Yeah, good to laugh.
It's bad that, you hate that any time because that means something to those two small towns.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's not good.
That's not good. But the game that has been canceled that just happened, it had to happen sometime today between noon and now. But Ardmore at Shawnee has been canceled. Remember last week, a lot of small schools have been canceled, but last week the two Norman schools had to cancel. Norman versus Norman North was canceled. Yep. Perkins has been canceled twice. Yep. Edmond North has been canceled twice. Perkins, the Tryon Demons do return or go to the Gridiron Friday. Cushing comes to town for Perkins, and Edmond North, I think, finally gets on the field. I think they play Edmond Santa Fe, who has had two tough games to begin the year. Yeah. And I watched the BYU Navy game on Saturday night. Navy hadn't practiced a whole lot, hadn't tackled much, hadn't much contact, and it showed pretty bad. I think Tulsa Golden Hurricane were watching that game like, we haven't been practicing a whole lot either.
We need a bye week.
Let's push that game back a little bit. But some other games, Ardmore Shawnee not playing, Idabel at Broken Bow not playing, Star Spencer at Western Heights, of course, Western Heights, and then a lot of small schools in there like Mounds at Gore, Kansas at Ketchum, Haskell at Porter, just to name a few there. Some games postponed. Frederick at Hobart has been postponed. Vertigas and Miami has been moved to 12 o'clock on Saturday, and Pawnee at Okemah has been moved to 7 o'clock on Saturday as well. So this is going to be every week. This is going to be every single week. And Edmond North had players tested, and so they have to quarantine. Players around them who locker next to them have to quarantine. And so we'll see how Edmond North does.
Well, and what we've seen a lot of too, and I think it's smart by the administrations that are doing it. To me, it makes total sense. You see most schools moving homecoming up earlier and senior nights up earlier. And I think it's smart. You want to try to get those games in where you can recognize the seniors, you can do the homecoming stuff.
Yep.
Because nobody does know. Maybe we get a full season in, Chris. Yep. We all pray we do, but at the end of the day, we may not. And I think, the administrators that are taking those actions, I tip my hat to them. You talk about an impossible job right now. Every administrator, every school board, from superintendents to building principals to classroom teachers to the support staff, every one of them that are in these public schools, these brick and mortar public schools, it is an impossible situation.
And it's like 50-50 on each side of it right now.
Oh, it's crazy.
No matter what decision you make.
You're going to make somebody mad, and I get that, but I hope everybody just remembers, there's no playbook for this one.
No.
I mean, so things literally change every hour of the day right now.
Let's take a look at some pretty good performances individually here. Clinton Campbell of McLeod. I mentioned McLeod, first victory since 2018 over U.S. Grant. He rushed for 127 yards on 14 carries, 2 scores, 70 yards and a touchdown. I don't know, people talk about McLeod football, but when you win a game,
it's a big deal.
Like to call you out there. Dominique Dunn, a tight end from Mustang, 10 carries, 73 yards, 4 touchdowns in their 35-21 victory. Colin Madison, Oklahoma Christian School, to a standout victory over the Morrison Wildcats, not too far from the Stillwater area. 3 catches, 80 yards, 11 tackles, 2 interceptions on defense. Boys McIntosh Community Christian rushed for 96 yards and 2 scores, but also completed 24 of his 34 passes. And we mentioned earlier this my player of the week. You go figure, Contrell Walker, 29 carries, 243 yards, and 5 touchdowns. By the way, he had a 70-yard touchdown call back, or you would have 300 rushing yards in the victory, and that's over Edmond Santa Fe. So that wasn't.
No, it's not a cupcake. I mean, he's all man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so thick. I mean, this kid, his lower body is. I mean, he stands out, right? I mean, when you see him run on the field, you don't even. They can have everything on. You go, oh, there's Walker.
Yeah.
I mean, you just see him. Yeah. I mean, he stands out, and he's special. I mean, for him, 200 yards. Most kids, you go out and you rush for 150 yards and have a couple touchdowns. Like, man, what a great ball game! And it is. That's a great ball game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Walker goes for 150 and 2, and everybody said, well, did he get hurt? I mean, did he not play?
Right.
I mean, he's a different kind of cat.
Yeah, he runs for 130 yards. Like, huh.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
Huh.
What's wrong with him?
Well, they really shut him down. Give credit to that team's defense. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take our final time out here because we want to spend as much time as we can on the top 10 games of the week. There are some good 5A games in there. We'll break it all down, get our picks for the top 10 games inside the state of Oklahoma according to the Oklahoman, because we don't want to pick scores or we, pick games that we know will win. So we will go neutral, the Oklahoman's games.
Neutral?
Yeah, neutral. Oh. All right. With that, we'll take our final time out. This is the High School Huddle presented by Generations Church.
At Generations Church, we exist to love God, love people, and serve both well. We're a multi-generational, multicultural church that believes in being a light to our city and our region. At Generations, we don't believe that church can be put in a box. We're a church that accepts all people from all walks of life, young, old, rich, and poor, and you will feel welcome at Generations. Join us at 10 a.m. every Sunday at 2524 West Noble in Guthrie, America. You can also join us at generationsguthrie.online.church.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Lewis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Lewis Turney a call at 282-7600.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Today I'm sharing Golden Chick with the world. Are you ready to taste Golden Chick for the first time? 100% tenderloin, that's where the golden tenders come from, marinated for 24 hours.
It is amazing.
Then we also got the rolls, made fresh.
It feels like they were just baked.
You know why it feels that way? They were.
Every time I go, I like to get extra rolls, so I love it.
We are being kind of photobombed right now by the one and only Clucky. Have you met Clucky the chicken? Don't get too starstruck. He's just a regular guy. One taste, and you're golden.
Golden
He's on Tender. That's like a chicken dating app.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy. Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
Exon was founded by two combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exon.
Welcome back to the High School Huddle. Join the huddle yourself and let us know your thoughts by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-897-3678 or simply tweet us by using the hashtag OKHSHuddle. Now let's get back in the huddle and talk high school sports.
Talking high school football here on 93.7 FM KSBI. Jordan Leach, Phil Nichols, Chris Evans with you. And again, we are brought to you by our good friends at Generations Church, and Josh and the community at the church do a great job throughout the, not only on Sundays and Wednesday nights, but throughout the week. They have dinners and fundraisers, and they host events out there for the community. Josh, part of the Ministerial Alliance as well. Yep. And so a big thank you to Josh and Generations Church this year. And let's say it was my first time, I think, ever to go to on the campus of Pumpkin City West. Yeah. And got to see their brand new facility open up last year. PC North also got the new stuff last year as well. And enjoyed the time over there.
New stadiums don't like our equipment.
New stadiums, don't like our equipment. We didn't probably have enough time to deal with all of it, but
3 hours.
We didn't have 3 hours.
What time did we get there?
We got there at 4:15?
That's right. When does the show go on?
We go on the air at 6:30.
2 hours.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't give you a cool down period.
2 hours and 15 minutes. I was dehydrated. If it hadn't been for Mr. Chappell, I might have went down last week.
Well, and you fought through it.
I did fight through it. And I went up to Jeff and I said, I got to get some water. And he goes, well, I got a cooler full of water over there. And man, halftime, matter of fact, I checked into Chris about a minute left. I said, dude, I got to get something to drink. And Jeff and I walked over. I think we both drank about 4 bottles in about 3 minutes.
Well, you should have said something. We could have got you a drink before the game started.
Oh,
we had time.
I'm just stop.
Oh.
There was a phone call made, and you said, nope, we're all good here.
But PC West, it was weird. I've never seen this before. But the scoreboard at PC West is at the 50-yard line behind the visitors.
Yeah, a nice facility.
Yeah.
I don't want to give the wrong impression, but it was different.
Yeah, it was
very different.
Yeah,
they worked with what they had there to build it.
Yeah, they got a neighborhood behind,
right.
So they're kind of landlocked.
Families over there in the backyard sitting on their decks, literally drinking wine, watching the game. People pulling up on 4-wheelers, trucks, sitting on the hoods outside of the stadium watching the game. It was a trip.
I got to tell you, as doing the broadcast, we have a lot of information. Our scoreboard graphics but it was nice to look across the way doing the play-by-play. It's right there. You don't have to lean to the left or right. It's right there in front of you. Nice facility over at PC West, and a lot of these new facilities are really taking off. Ed Memorial opened up, Evan North a few years ago, Evan Santa Fe a few years ago with all these Mustang, Yukon, all these great facilities have creeped into the Oklahoma City area. Because there for a while, the east side was kind of pretty dominant in their facilities. and maybe still so on the east side. Obviously, Jinx, Union, Broken Arrow, and there's more. But the facilities have increased tremendously over the last 5 years in high school football.
No, it really has. And of course, we're very partial because we're hometown boys in Guthrie, where we live, and we love the rock, and we love the way it's set up, and I love the natural grass, and I know, that's just me. I think turf down there. I know there's pros to having turf, but I also know it would look so different. It would give the whole thing a different feel. But there's so many beautiful stadiums all around the state, and we've been lucky enough to go to a lot of them. An awful lot of them. So it's been good.
Let's take a look at Let's take a look at the top 10 games as the Oklahoman has it listed. We will go over the number 1 team in Class B, the Shattuck Indians, taking on the independent Destiny Christian. Shattuck has won 36 straight games, by the way. Who has the longest win streak in big school football, Phil?
Big school?
Big school.
It's got to be Owasso, doesn't it?
No. It's got to be someone who's won 2 state championships in a row.
You said big. Well, Carl Albert.
No, Piedmont beat him last year.
Dadgummit.
The longest winning streak in.
I don't know, Chris.
It's a team called Bixby Spartans.
Oh, dadgummit.
They've only won 27.
Stop. Just stop. Stop. It's been a long summer.
27 straight wins for Bixby.
You know what? I'm over here texting. I'm trying to multitask.
Right. We're only on here for 60 minutes. Can you text wait?
It's my fault. I'll tell Hetty to wait. It's my fault.
Tell him you got to go win right now.
I know. I got to go win right now.
You got to go win right now. All right.
Sorry.
Piedmont taking on Pumpkin City North. Coach Laverty, his son's the quarterback. Piedmont 1-0, Pumpkin City North 1-0. It's at Pumpkin City North, 6A air raid against the Flexbone 5A.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Putnam City.
Okay.
Putnam
City North.
Yeah, I think Putnam City North. I do think. It wouldn't surprise me if Piedmont won the game.
Okay.
But again, there's been so many changes with personnel at Piedmont. We know there's numbers. We know there's athletes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know. I don't know enough about them. But I'm going to default with the air raid and the bigger boys up front that traditionally are there in 6A ball and say that they'll get the win.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Piedmont Wildcats, and this is a Piedmont Pumpkin City North game that will probably be played in the years to come because Piedmont is slowly
they'll be 6A
4 years, probably four, maybe 6 years away from being in 6A too. So Piedmont better get it going in 5A football, have a chance. Number 8 game, Class 3A, Stigler, ranked number 7, 2-0, taking on Eufaula. Eufaula losing to Vian, I believe it was, last week. So Stigler at Eufaula.
Stigler.
We're going to go with Stigler.
Yeah.
All right.
So are you.
Yeah, I got to go with Stigler. Yeah. It's on the road at Eufaula, though.
Yeah.
My heart tells me Eufaula, the Ironheads there.
Oh, boy.
5A, number 5 ranked El Reno, 1-1 coming off the loss. Not sure if Plumley will play or not with the foot injury, but they are taking on Weatherford. Weatherford 1-0 with the victory last week over Kingfisher. Ethan Downs. It's Ethan Downs versus Doran Plumley. Hopefully Doran Plumley gets to play.
I hope he plays. I think even if he plays, I think Weatherford's going to win the game.
Yeah, I'm going Weatherford as well. That'll be fun to watch. Ethan Downs trying to chase down Doran Plumley. That will be fun to watch. Yeah. Collinsville up on the east side of the state, taking it on Sky Took. Both of them coming off big wins. And who you got, Phil? Collinsville, Sky Took.
I'm going to go with Collinsville.
I'm going to go with Collinsville as well.
Yep.
6A, number 2 ranked Stillwater Pioneers, been in the state championship for the last 2 seasons. Can't get over that Bixby hump like many others cannot do. They come down to the Oklahoma City area and take on the Mustang Broncos. Yeah. Don't forget, Jordan Leach is listening. So
I know, Jordan. And Jordan, I love you. You're one of my favorite people in the world.
Here we go.
Pioneers.
I can't believe you're doing that to Jordan. Stillwater rolls in that ball game.
Oh, yeah. But it's all my fault. Yeah. Okay.
The backyard bowl is Tulsa Union. 0-2 Tulsa Union.
0-2.
Taking on the Jinx Trojans.
I'm actually getting used to hearing that.
Yeah, it's
kind of settling in now.
Yeah.
It's settling
Jinx loses the Bixby last week, beat an Arkansas team in week 0.
Yeah, Jinx wins that game.
So Union's going to 0-3.
Yep, sure are.
Wow.
Write it down. Matter of fact, that's my lock.
That's your lock.
That's my lock.
Oh boy! Congratulations, Union. With that, I'm picking Union. If that's your lock, I'm going Tulsa Union. They are hungry for a win in a rival game. Anybody can win that game.
I'm hungry for Harris.
I'm going for Union.
Yep.
The Owasso Rams. Phil's Owasso Rams
they are.
really kind of kickstarted their program. You did.
My fault.
Take on Broken Arrow. It's Union Jinx used to be the number one game ever. Now Owasso Union, Owasso BA in front of that there. So.
Well, I'm not. The Rams are my team. I'm riding that pony. I mean, so it's the Rams.
All right, it's at Broken Arrow. I will take the Tigers.
Ooh.
The Tigers.
Ooh.
Bishop McGinnis, Luke Tarman, Michael Taffy, Millwood transfer.
Yeah.
They are taking on Bishop Kelly. Battle of the Bishops, always a fun game. They met a few times in the regular season and postseason over the last several years. But the Irish against the Comets. You want me to go first?
Yeah, because I don't like either selection.
Oh, I'm going Bishop Kelly in this one.
I am too, actually.
Okay.
No, I am too. And I Tarman kids.
Oh, yeah.
He's special. So he's the wild card in this thing.
Yeah,
but
if McGinnis wins because Tarman
went off.
Yes.
Just absolutely. And he has the ability to do that.
Yes, he does.
So it's going to be a typical game. It's going to go back and forth. But I think Kelly will get him at the end.
All right, Bishop Kelly on both sides here. The number one game in the state of Oklahoma. It's a 5A 6A2 showdown as the Carl Albert Titans go across town and take on the Dell City Eagles. It's another Mid-Dell. Carl Albert won the rival against Midwest City last week. Carl Albert's only lost one game in the last
4 years.
3+ years now.
Yeah.
Ben Harris starting quarterback only lost once. Yeah. And, the four-time defending state champions, heavy favorites to win it for the fifth time in Class 5A. They step out of class, take on Dell City like they do every single year. Dell City coming off a loss to Booker T. Washington, 15-13.
Yeah. Titans win. Titans win.
How many athletes
are going to be on that field?
Are going to be on that field. Over and under has got to be, at 17.5?
Yeah. And I might take
athletes.
I might take the,
well, I'm just talking about on Carl Albert's side.
Yeah. I was going to say, both sides, that's over.
Absolutely.
Now, we do have to pick one more.
Oh, one more. We're in overtime. We're in overtime.
Guthrie Duncan,
a good matchup. I think a great 5A matchup. Could be a first-round matchup. Could be. But I think the Blue Jays are playing they got to get can't get behind like they have last couple of weeks. The passing game slowly getting better. They still got some stuff to work on, but they keep working. They're getting closer. They'll get it figured out. The passing game. Once they do that, they need a little bit more depth running the ball outside of two guys running the football. But I like the Blue Jays for homecoming. Yeah, and I do too. And I think for Josh Range is doing a great job. Mm-hmm. The first 2 weeks he could have easily been the player of the game in both weeks. Isaiah Hammond's the running back. The sophomore. We've had a lot, and that whole sophomore class brings 5, 6, 7 kids that are really contributing in a big way. So I think the Blue Jays win the game for homecomer this week. It'd be a fun game. Of course, you can catch that on 93.7 FM KSBA on Friday night. Our pregame show kicks off at 6:30. Of course, kickoff at 7 o'clock. Perkins Trowns Demons finally get on the field. They host Cushing, Stillwater, all of our in our north central Oklahoma. Best of luck this week, and best of luck to your team out there as well. Big thank you to Miss Mustang Bronco, Jordan Leach, Paddle Girl, for keeping us going in the Stillwater studio. For Phil Nichols, I'm Chris Evans. We'll talk to you next time on the High School Huddle. And I forgot to get to the opening or closing, Phil. Okay, say bye, Phil. Bye.
This has been the High School Huddle on Hot 93.7 FM. Be sure to tune in next week as we break down more of the top games and news from across the state of Oklahoma.